everyone. Happy Friday. Beautiful sunny day here in Palmer. It is Free Yoga Friday, so I wanted to bring you this little 10-minute video or so on some just basic stretches to help deal with the maybe more forward slouching positions we've been hanging out in lately doing work from home, and also just a few things to help relieve some tension and stress from throughout our body. So I hope you'll enjoy and share with your friends and family, and we just hope that you're all doing well through all of this. And the biggest thing is to remember to breathe. So taking deep breaths every single day, multiple times a day sometimes, will help us ease that stress on our body and keep us healthier. So we're just going to start in a nice seated position, nice comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall. If cross-legged works for you, great. If you'd rather have one leg kind of half stretched out and the other leg in that cobbler or that cross-legged, you can keep that there. So whatever works best for you, sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes and let's just take some deep breaths here. So just beginning to bring awareness to our body. So shifting from awareness of outside world to inside our body. So just tuning out from the world, tuning in to you. Notice any spots that are tense, sore, or tight. And bring awareness to those spots by using your breath and awareness, right? So I might not realize that I'm clenching my jaw or holding my shoulders up to my ears until I close my eyes and I can just sit in this space and release that tension. When I focus inward, it allows me to realize that I'm furrowing my brow, that I'm clenching my jaw, that I'm holding my shoulders tight, all of those things. So just take this time to just do a little kind of self check-in, and then start to bring more length to your spine. So let the crown of your head lengthen up. As the crown lengthens, you'll feel the heart want to lengthen up too. So I always think of just the heart kind of pulling up and forward. So I feel this nice stretch along my spine. So the crown of the head lifts, the heart lifts, the shoulders release from the ears. And then I bring more awareness to my breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And then starting to deepen those breaths in and out. Breathing in fully, breathing out fully. Each breath in gets a little deeper. Each breath out gets a little longer. Good. So I always like to think of breaths as an opportunity to focus on my intention and what I'm bringing into my body. So breathing in, happy, positive thoughts. Breathing out, negative feelings, thoughts, emotions. Always breathing in the good, breathing out the bad. Good, and let these next 3 breaths be the biggest ones you've taken all day or maybe all week. So I always like to start with an exhale, really pressing all the breath out of my body, and then inhaling fully and letting it all out. Good, and then we're going to inhale those arms up overhead, stretching the fingertips toward the ceiling, and exhale the arms back down to your sides. Inhale, arms reach up, nice big stretch. Exhale, back down, and one more time. Inhale up, and exhale back down. Now, of course, you can do that as many times as you want. I personally love that stretch, just to reach up, feel my whole spine stretching, and then releasing down. Then we're going to bring our shoulders up to our ears and roll them down and away. Another inhale brings the shoulders up, exhale down and away, and one more time. Inhale up and exhale down and away. My assistant teacher is here. Pixie dog. So then we're going to inhale those arms up. Again, we're going to move into a little twist. So bring your left hand over to your right knee, your right hand behind you. So we want to lengthen up nice and tall here. With each inhale and each exhale, we just find a little more twist. We're just going to hold this for a few breaths. But again, if you like this pose, you can hold it for as long as you'd like. Good, and then inhale, unwind, and exhale, other side. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Good, and then inhale all the way back up. Nice big stretch, and then we're gonna just fold forward, so bringing the hands out in front of us, letting the head relax down between your arms, feeling that stretch through the lower back and outer hips. Feels so good. So breathing in, breathing out. Good, and then inhaling back up. We're gonna take it into tabletop. So rocking on over onto all fours. So coming onto all fours, we are going to stack our shoulders, elbows, and wrists. And inhale, let the belly soften, feeling that nice big stretch through your lower back and tailbone. The chest sort of lifts up like it's going to reach up through your arms. Gaze is just slightly forward. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, press the floor away from you, roll those shoulders toward the ceiling, and then you can look back towards your thighs and really feel this stretch through the neck and shoulders. Good, and then inhale back through cow pose, and exhale into cat. And then just moving back and forth between these two at your pace for just a few rounds, or you can do it for a couple minutes. Again, it's always your practice, so whatever feels best for you. Good, one more time in each pose. Excellent, and then coming back to all fours, we're gonna take it back into child's pose. So child's pose is a really great way to just settle in for a few breaths. So you take your knees out wide, or you can keep them together and just let your hips sink back towards your heels, your arms lengthen out in front of you, and the forehead makes contact with the floor. Let's take about 3 more deep breaths here. Good, child's pose is one I could stay in all day. So come back up onto all fours. We're gonna move into downward dog. So we wanna curl our toes under and lift the hips up from here. So when we lift those hips up, we wanna have our feet about hip width apart, and our hands are about shoulder width apart. Good, so from here, we wanna have this nice kind of triangle shape with our body. So a good way to measure out your distance in downward dog is to come into plank pose. So where we get really nice and long in plank pose. I have a nice flat back, my legs are engaged, my core is engaged. And then without shifting my hands or my feet, I lift my hips back up. And then I have this really nice position for downward dog. Again, you can hang out in downward dog for anywhere from 5 breaths to a couple minutes. Whatever feels best. You can also shake your head no and shake your head yes. You can pedal your feet out to really stretch the backs of the legs. Good, take one more breath in. And then we're gonna bring our feet to the center of our mat. Bring the hands back toward the feet. We're gonna rise up into a half forward fold. So I'm gonna bring my hands to my shins. And just have a nice flat back here. And then I'm gonna make sure my weight is centered over the arches of my feet. It's really tempting to shift the weight into the heels because then I can fold farther and get a deeper stretch, but we wanna lengthen everything out evenly. So bring the weight centered over the arches. Take one more breath here. And then we're gonna bend our legs and fold our torso down over the thighs. So resting here, and then you can take your arms into ragdoll. So grabbing opposite elbow, hanging here for a couple moments. Another nice way to get some traction through the shoulders and neck. I love this stretch. Good, take one more nice big inhale. Exhale, let yourself sink in a little bit more. And then inhale, come up. And exhale, we'll fold one more time. This time the legs can be a little bit straighter, and we'll just let that upper body hang. You can always come into ragdoll. Good, and then release the arms, come up halfway, and then we'll come all the way up into standing. And we're just gonna do a little side bend here. So inhale, reach those arms up overhead and then tip over to the left to stretch out the right side. Couple of breaths here. And then inhale, back up tall, exhale, other side. Good, inhale, back up, and then exhale. Bring those hands to your heart, come down into chair pose. So chair pose, we wanna have our knees stacked and I can see my toes. Pressing my hips back toward the wall behind me, and I can feel this nice stretch through my lower back. Good, so this is just a good way to fire up those legs, stretch the hips a little bit, and get your heart rate up a little bit. So take one more nice big breath in and out, sink in. And inhale, straighten the legs, exhale, fold forward. Good, and then bring those hands down to the mat, step your feet back into downward dog one more time. And then come down onto your knees and all the way back down to your seat. So finding that comfortable seated position again, if you remember which leg you had stacked on top, go ahead and switch. So the other one is on top. That just helps balance out our hips a little bit more. And then come back into that nice upright seated position, letting the crown of the head lengthen, let the heart lengthen. We'll bring those shoulders up to the ears and down and away just a couple more times. Good, and then let's inhale those arms up overhead and exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart, closing the eyes, tipping the head in toward the hands, and just offering yourself a moment of gratitude for making time in your day to just focus on breathing, moving and stretching, and hopefully you feel better. And if you'd like more yoga, please feel free to join us online at Midnight Sun Yoga Center online. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out on Facebook or send us an email, midnightsunyoga@gmail.com. And I wish you all the very best. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Namaste and be well.